Good morning. This is Ken. Tesla just raised Cybertruck prices by $5,000. Not on a truck that's flying off the lot, but on one that's been reported as slow selling. And nothing about the truck itself changed. Two of the three trims went up. Dual Motor All-Wheel Drive moved from $69,990 to $74,990. Premium All-Wheel Drive went from $79,990 to $84,990. The Cyberbeast stayed at $99,990. Tesla has not publicly explained why. Today, I'll take 5 possible explanations and test them one at a time. Then, I'll show you a watch list so you can tell which explanation is winning as new data comes in. Here's what's confirmed. Dual Motor All-Wheel Drive is up $5,000 to $74,990. That's about 7.1%. Premium All-Wheel Drive is also up $5,000 to $84,990. That's about 6.3%. The Cyberbeast is the only one that didn't move. Usually, a price increase comes with something added. This one didn't. Range is still 325 miles. Towing is still 7,500 pounds. 0 to 60 is still 4.1 seconds. Same truck, $5,000 more. That's the starting point. Cybertruck pricing has moved a lot this year. In February, the Dual Motor launched at $59,990. Elon Musk said that price would only last 10 days and it ended in late February. In March, it went to $69,990. Now it's $74,990. $15,000 on the same trim in 6 months. When a vehicle is slow, automakers have a standard playbook: discounts, cheap financing, free options, inventory deals. If you want volume, price goes down. This went the other way. One thing to flag before we go further: Tesla does not report Cybertruck sales on their own. What gets published is a combined other models line. That line also carries the Semi and the last Model S and Model X deliveries. So it can't be read as a Cybertruck number. On these slides, anything we can't verify sits inside a dashed border. One thing did change clearly. The gap between Premium and Cyberbeast used to be $20,000. Now it's $15,000. If you're configuring a truck, the top trim just moved closer than it was last week. So why raise it? There are 5 plausible explanations. Demand is strong. Margin now matters more than volume. Tesla wants you looking at the Cyberbeast. Tesla is throttling orders to match supply, or costs went up and got passed through. First, demand. If orders are running ahead of build rate, a price increase slows intake while raising revenue per truck. What we can check: the Dual Motors delivery estimate has been sitting in next year. What we can't check: the size of the order backlog. Tesla doesn't publish it. What to watch: whether delivery estimates move after the increase. Second, margin over volume. If $5,000 sticks, the same number of trucks brings in more revenue. What we can check: the 2 trims that went up are the higher volume ones. What we can't check: per model profit. Tesla doesn't break it out. What to watch: automotive gross margin in the next quarterly report. Worth being careful here. A price increase doesn't automatically mean more profit. $5,000 more per truck helps, but if volume's hard, revenue and factory utilization both fall. Which effect is bigger is the question. Until that's clear, higher price does not equal higher profit. Third, trim positioning. We can confirm the gap narrowed to 15,000. We can't confirm that Tesla intended it. What to watch? The mix of orders and deliveries by trim. If the Cyberbeast share rises, this explanation gets stronger. Fourth, matching orders to supply. This is where the hardest evidence sits. On July 23rd, Tesla filed an emergency action in federal court in the Western District of Texas against one of its part suppliers. In that filing, Tesla wrote that no other supplier in the world can presently manufacture these components. It also said its on-hand supply was dwindling and would be exhausted within days. That isn't a reporter's inference. That's Tesla under its own signature in court. The supplier is Angstrom Automotive Group, based in Michigan. Tesla argued it owned the tooling and couldn't get it back. On August 4th, the court granted Tesla's request. Since then, observers have reported Cybertrucks filling the outbound lot at Giga Texas again. Fifth, cost pass-through. Materials, components, tariffs. Any of those could justify a price move. But this one has a hole in it. If costs went up, the Cyberbeast should have gone up too. It didn't, and it's built on the same line on the same body. Cost alone doesn't explain that. Here's the part I keep coming back to. Look at delivery times. As of mid-August, the Dual Motor, the trim that just got more expensive, was quoting delivery in 2027. The Cyberbeast, the trim that didn't move, was quoting weeks to a couple of months. Tesla raised the price of the truck you have to wait a year for and left the one you can get now alone. Whatever the reason is, it isn't uniform across the lineup. This also isn't the first unexplained increase this year. In May, Tesla raised US Model Y mid-trim pricing by about 2%, the first increase in 2 years. No explanation then either. I drive a Model Y, so I noticed that one. Step back and none of the 5 explanations closes the case. You can't say demand is strong. You can't say this is a response to weak sales. What's certain is that the price went up and Tesla didn't say why. So what should you actually watch? This is the useful part. If inventory drops and wait times stretch, demand or a supply constraint was the reason. If inventory bills and incentives or cheap financing come back, this increase probably won't hold. If the Cyberbeast's share of the mix rises, this was trim positioning. If automotive gross margin improves, the margin explanation gets stronger. And if the price quietly rolls back within a few months, this was a pricing test. That last one has a precedent. The Cyberbeast went up $15,000 last August and came back down in February. Here's exactly what we can say today. 2 trims are $5,000 more expensive. The truck is unchanged. There's no stated reason. A supply fight was resolved days earlier. Whether demand is strong or weak, we still can't say. A price increase is not proof that demand recovered. It's also not proof that Tesla gave up on the truck. What it does give you is a read on what Tesla is optimizing for right now: volume or margin. When the next quarterly numbers land, this watch list is how you'll know which one it was.
Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.